Victor Oladipo was back in the starting lineup for Indiana. Oladipo had 8 points in 19 minutes versus the Blazers. And despite looking good on the court, Oladipo still hasn't decided if he'll play when the season resumes in a week. Here he is after the game on his mental approach to a full return.
I know my body better than anyone else. I know what I'm feeling. No one else knows what I'm feeling. Even though it might look good to you or to whoever it is that's looking at me, I hold myself to a different standard. So the abilities that I'm used to doing, you've never done it before. None of y'all have. You understand? So for me, I'm trying to get back to that. You understand? I'm trying to get back to that feeling. You know, I'm trying to get back to make sure my myself is 100%, so that I can go and perform at the highest level that you guys are used to seeing me at.
Richard, how cautious should the Pacers be with Oladipo?
Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Kawhi Leonard and the San Antonio Spurs. There's something more going on here, ladies and gentlemen. There's something more going on. You don't have a player play before the quarantine and then come back and play in the bubble, but then say, I don't the team. There is nowhere on this planet where those things add up and don't add up to something that says that there is a disagreement between him and his team. He could have said he was going to stay home for whatever reason and would have still gotten paid. But he's shown up, he's playing, but hasn't decided if he's going to play. So there's more there, and I'm not going to speak out of pocket because I don't know what is there, but there is something here. There's going to be either a change or there's going to be some movement. I mean, do you think it's fishy?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's fishy. I think it's actually pretty surface level. Brian Windhorst a few weeks ago put out the report that the NBA and the Players Association are trying to figure out whether Oladipo would in fact get paid if he didn't play in these games, if he sat out, because the official reason is because of an injury. But he said he's healthy before, so that's where a lot of the mix-up is. For Oladipo, if it comes down to I have to play to get my money, then I'm going to do it. But if it's up to him, I believe he'd sit out if he knew he was going to get paid in the meanwhile. And you say, why is that, Amin? Well, next year he's going to be a free agent. This is not only going to be his last big payday, but it's probably going to be his biggest big payday of his career. And so I have no problem with him feeling trepidatious about putting himself out there after a 4-month layoff and maybe risking injury and ruining that big payday that he has coming to him a year from now. It's not fishy, it's kind of obvious, but obviously he can't come out and say that because the backlash towards that kind of statement would be worse than what he's going through right now.
Well, let me ask you this, in regards to that, because the original question was, should the Pacers be cautious in this particular situation? Should they be cautious because of that? Because he could potentially leave in 2021.
So piggybacking off of what Richard said, you got to learn from the ballad of Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio. As a team, you can't pressure guys into playing if they don't feel 100%, because all that's going to do is ruin the trust factor. For the record, the Pacers have already told the league they're fine with paying his salary. They're not trying to save money. This isn't a Pacers trying to be cheap thing. This is all about Victor and whether he's comfortable enough or not to play, and whether the league will allow him to be paid if he does not play.
Richard, you got anything?
I got nothing else to add to that. I just think that there's a lot more going on here. I think the Pacers are trying to be professionals. I think Victor Oladipo is trying to be a professional and not air his grievances. But ultimately, when he's telling the reporters, no one else knows. Maybe before his original injury, maybe he was saying that it didn't feel right, something wasn't right, and they were kind of saying, you're fine, go play. And now he's a little bit more cautious. But there is more to this story. And look, kudos to them for kind of trying to keep this together, but this ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. And typically when they don't add up, there's going to be a change.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.